Hello, I'm not Chuck, and in this video I'd like to show you 4 relatively inexpensive electrical testers that you may have a use for in your home, whether it's sticks and bricks or on wheels. The 4 testers are a non-contact voltage detector, a receptacle tester, an AC/DC voltage tester, and a digital multimeter. The non-contact voltage detector is a pencil-shaped device. It even has a pocket clip on it for keeping in your pocket if you so desire. It is a relatively easy device to use. It indicates on one side that it runs on 2 AAA batteries. On the other end of the device, the business end, is completely enclosed in plastic. Inside the plastic tip there's a piece of metal which, when it detects electricity, it lights an LED and sounds a buzzer inside the device. The black portion of the detector serves 2 purposes. First of all, it is an on and off switch. Just rotate it to turn the device on or off. In addition, it serves as a cap for the battery compartment. Turn the cap and the batteries can be easily removed. As you see, there are 2 AAA batteries. In this case, the batteries came with the detector and they are the Warrior brand, which is a Harbor Freight exclusive. However, any sort of AAA batteries will work just fine. To use the device, just bring the tip of it close to any source of AC electricity. In this case, the right side of the receptacle makes the detector go off, the left side does not. That's because the right side is hot and the left side is neutral. This particular model has been superseded at Harbor Freight by a newer version. In addition, similar devices are available from any number of manufacturers, and they all work pretty much the same. Just be sure you have fresh batteries in your detector and that the switch is on so that you don't mistakenly assume there is no current when there really is. This tester is designed to help identify open wiring in your house or RV. It identifies open grounds, open neutrals, open hots. It also helps you identify if there are any reversals between hot and ground or hot and neutral. This particular one has both the UL listed mark and the CE mark. The receptacle tester is very easy to use. As you see, its design includes 3 prongs protruding from one end. These prongs are sized, shaped, and arranged to plug into a standard 117-volt AC receptacle. In addition, there are 3 colored lighted indicators, a red and 2 amber. Those 3 indicators light in particular patterns to indicate the condition of the receptacle being tested. The list on the side of the receptacle tester helps you identify which pattern means what. To use the tester, plug it into any standard 117-volt AC electrical outlet. The indicators will light to show you the condition of the receptacle. In this case, the indicators are showing 2 ambers lit, which means the receptacle is wired and functioning correctly. There are many brands of receptacle testers available. This particular one is different from the one I actually used in the demonstration video. They pretty much all operate the same way. The AC/DC voltage tester is of interest to RVers and sticks and bricks homeowners, as it allows the identification of AC up to 480 volts and DC up to 600 volts. As you see, it has test leads that are stored on the back of the device itself. In addition, there is a pocket clip on the back of the tester. On the front are 4 indicators that light to indicate voltage in one of 4 different ranges. The top range ends at 480 volts AC, 600 volts DC. The second range ends at 270 volts AC and 380 volts DC. The third range ends at 240 volts AC and 330 volts DC, and the bottom range, the one of most interest, ends at 120 volts AC and 160 volts DC. The unit has both CE and CSA approval. To use the tester to check an AC outlet, simply insert the metal tips of the probes into the receptacle and note which indicator lights. Because you're measuring AC, the polarity of the probes does not matter. Either probe may be inserted in either side of the socket. A digital multimeter, or DMM, is probably the most useful piece of electrical equipment you can own. It will measure DC and AC volts and amperes as well as ohms. Some will also test transistors and diodes. A DMM consists of a rotary switch to select the function and range, a pair of test leads to connect it to the circuit being measured, a digital display to show the results, and a case to hold the whole thing together. Of course, there are electronics inside to actually make the measurements and a battery to power the whole device. Sounds complicated, right? Well, from a design point of view, it is complicated, but it's not really all that hard to use. Sounds expensive, right? Certainly, there are expensive digital multimeters, but there are also very affordable models, like the one you're seeing. More about that later. Making voltage measurements, both AC and DC, is the most useful function to most homeowners, so I'll demonstrate how to do those two things in this video. I'll start out with measuring the most common AC home voltage, which is going to be close to 117 volts AC. Notice in the picture that the selector knob on the DMM is pointing to ACV, that's AC volts, and to the 200 volt range. The display is showing 0.0, so the DMM must be turned on. Next, watch as I insert the metal tips of the probes into the receptacle. See how the display changes to show the voltage at about 123? When I pull the metal tips from the receptacle, the display goes back to 0.0. Next, I'll make a DC voltage measurement. I can look at the power supply that I'm using and see that the output is going to be close to 13.8 volts DC. Notice in the picture that the selector knob is pointed to DC volts and to the 20 volt range. The display is showing 0.00, and this time you can see that the DMM switch is turned on. Again, watch as I insert the metal tips of the probes into the output connectors. See how the display changes to show the voltage as 13.81? When I pull the metal tips from the output connectors, the display goes back to 0.00. And that's how easy it is to make voltage measurements. None of the other measurements are much harder than those two. But what about the cost? The digital multimeter that I have been using in this video is cheap, really cheap, at $5.99 from Harbor Freight. And of course, it's not as good as one costing a lot more, but it is good enough for non-crucial measurements, and it's certainly better than no DMM at all. But if it's still too much money, take a look at this. During August of 2018, you can get the meter for free by using a coupon from the current Harbor Freight sale paper. Of course, you do have to make a purchase, but if you are really cheap, look for their wooden carpenter's pencil. It's about $1 and is all you really have to buy to use the free coupon. Well, that's it for this video. Don't forget the things I need you to do. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget, I'm not Chuck.